guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am telling you all exactly what I wish I'd known before I got my first job. So if this isn't for you, that is absolutely fine, but if you're about to get a job or you're thinking about getting a job, then maybe you'll find this helpful. Equally, it may be no help at all, but you know, we're doing it anyway. I am no expert. Everything I say is not the be all and end all. This is all my own personal opinion, and you may have a different opinion, and that is absolutely fine as well. We're all here to share our own opinions. So, every day is absolutely a learning day, and there is absolutely no shame in that. If you're finding something hard, say you're finding it hard, even if you've been there 2 years, because you never know, somebody may be able to help you, and how are you going to learn if you don't ask for help? And you may think, I don't want to ask for help because I've been here 2 years, and even though I've never experienced this before, I feel like I should know this. And yeah, to be honest, you probably should know that. And yeah, to be honest, when you ask somebody, they may be like, well, why don't you know that you've been here 2 years? But if you've not experienced it before, what are you better off doing? You're better off asking than getting something wrong. The main thing that happened to me when I first got my job, which I did not expect, was the number of bruises I came home with. Like, yes, my first job was in a supermarket, so it was lifting heavy things, stacking shelves, and it does cause a lot of bruises, and for some reason this just never crossed my mind. But even like when I was waitressing, I seemed to come home with bruises, and I just don't understand what from. Have I got one on my arm at the minute? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I've got one there. Don't know what that's from. Might not even be from work. But when I say my legs were black, I mean my legs were black. I'll insert a picture if I have one. So yeah, just be prepared that this may happen. Similarly, I lost my voice quite a lot when I first started my job. I think because obviously for like 16 years I've been sat in a classroom being silent, not really speaking to anyone, not really asking questions, and never really speaking, to then getting a job and having to speak and have the same conversation 200 times over and over again, like literally speaking for a solid 8 hours. I lost my voice quite a lot, and I do still occasionally lose my voice now after being there for a year and a half, nearly 2 years. And also on that wavelength, I came home with so many illnesses. Like, did anybody else ever get this when they started a new job, that they just got loads and loads of colds or other sorts of ailments? Like, I got a cold in my first week of starting my waitressing job, and then I also got another cold within a week of starting my supermarket job. So I was ill for like a solid 2 months of when I first started my jobs, and it makes it hard because you're ill, and I was quite badly ill. Like, I've not really been ill in my life, and I was really struggling, but it was like my first week. I didn't want to call in sick on the first day or within the first week, like, oh yeah, it's me, the new girl, I'm calling in sick. Like, it's not going to set off a good impression, is it? It is different now in COVID times. Like, if you had a cough or whatever, you know, you probably should isolate until you were able to get a negative test. But in those days, pre-COVID, it wouldn't have been a good start to your job to be calling in sick. On a different note, you may find it hard, but that does not mean it's not right for you. I started at the supermarket at the start of September in 2019, and I really wanted to quit. Within my first 2 weeks, I was like, I am not good enough. I am the worst member of staff out of everyone, which, looking back on it, that's such a silly thing to think. Like, obviously you're going to be, you're the least experienced, you've only just started. How are you ever going to be better than anybody else? Like, just silly. And I see so many other people start now and feel exactly the same way I did. It's just bizarre. I desperately wanted to quit. However, my birthday was the end of September, so I said to myself, I'm not gonna quit until I get to my birthday, because it was also payday on my birthday, so I wanted to get my first payday. But my god, it was a long month, and I really wanted to quit. I felt like I really wasn't good enough, and like I wasn't getting any better, and it was really tough. And now I love it. I really do enjoy it. So I was really struggling, I was really finding it hard, and then suddenly I was like, oh, it's been my birthday, I've actually passed what I wanted to do, and then I didn't want to quit anymore. So I would just set yourself a goal, a certain time that you want to get to before you make that decision. Just persevere, rather than thinking, oh, I don't like it for a couple of days and then leaving. Just persevere with it for a bit longer, because you never know, it might change. Swearing, you know, especially if you're fresh out of school, it depends on the people you hang around with, but you know, teachers and stuff can't really swear, so then you may go into a work environment and literally everybody swears all day long, and you may come home incorporating that language yourself, and you know what, that's fine. I use such different language now. Like, when I go back and speak to the friends that I had at school, it's just so weird how how I speak, because I now speak the way the people at work speak and they don't speak like that, and it's just like, wow, you sound so posh now. Food, eating, all that jazz. You know, in school you do have set times when you can eat, so obviously you can't eat in a classroom and things like that, so you do have your set times. However, when you get a job, you're saying you're doing a 6 a.m. till 2 o'clock shift and you're going to be told when to have your break, you don't know when they're going to send you. They could send you at 9:30 or they could send you at 1 o'clock. Like, you don't know when you're going to go. So yeah, food, eating, you know, thinking about that, it's just something I think about. However, I just don't believe it's really the be all and end all. If you don't get your break at the exact time you want it, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to starve at the end of the day. You're not going to starve in 2 hours. There's no point getting upset about little things like that. When I actually first started, we used to do 3:30 till 9:30 shifts quite a lot, and I would be on my break at 7:30 with everybody else, and I'd sit there and I wouldn't eat or drink anything. I'd just sit there being bored, because then I'd come home and have a full meal and everyone looked at me like I was a right weirdo. And yeah, to be honest, looking back on it, I have no idea how I used to just sit there and not eat anything, because now I absolutely stuff my face on a break, which I actually need to stop doing because it's a little bit unhealthy. But like I say, it's just things you'd need to think about. But as your lifestyle changes and you get into working, it just changed naturally as well. Hormone changes, I don't know if work had anything to do with this or whether it was just, you know, me, myself, my diet. I don't know. My diet was actually good, so the only thing that changed for me was working, and that is what I do think caused it. And I have spoken about it a little bit previously. I lost my periods for about 8 months-ish. So when I first started my job, I had one period, and then I didn't get another one for until December, I don't think, and then I didn't get like another one until May or something like that. Like, I didn't get my periods very often. They seemed to just disappear. So I did have to go and have scans on my ovaries and things, and everything came back clear. So we didn't really know what was wrong, and to be honest, I do just think it was starting work, like literally going from sitting at a desk for 14 years to getting up and being so active every day. Maybe it just made me lose my periods. So, you know, if you are like me, you're fresh out of school and you're going to go straight into full-time work, maybe it's something you need to prepare yourself for. Or if you're in school and you're about to get a part-time job, there may be a little bit of balance there and maybe it won't be so bad. I am no expert. Everybody has an adjustment period. You are not stupid. You cannot go into a job and get everything right first time. You can't. So you need to understand that you will get things wrong, and that is fine. People expect you to get things wrong and for you to ask questions. It obviously helps if you have a good team, good management and all that, but this is something that, like, because it was my first job, I literally didn't know anything. I didn't know how to clean. I knew nothing, and I really did think I was stupid. And some of the things for my age, yeah, I probably should have known, to be fair. But since I've been there, other new people have started who have been a lot older than me, like 40, 45, whatever, and they've also asked similar questions. So it just made me stand back and go, wow, you know, it wasn't just me. Other people also did similar things, and it took them a while to sort of get to the level that everybody else is, and that is normal. Being perved on obviously depends on what sort of job you're having, but if you're going into like a retail job or in the food industry or just anything customer facing, really, it may be something you experience and deal with. Maybe you experienced it before anyway, you know, just walking down the street, you know, sometimes it happens. But yeah, it may be something that happens in work as well. And I am not a confrontational person, so it's easier for me to just take it than fight back and say I don't like it. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But yeah, it is something I would anticipate happening. Whether you're a girl, whether you're a boy, does not really matter, I don't think, as boys do get perved on as well. Another thing I think is highly important to understand is that you don't necessarily need a thick skin. I went into retail because I wanted to grow a thick skin. I had the thinnest skin in school. I would cry at absolutely anything, and I still cry at absolutely anything now. But I am good at my job, and I know I'm good at my job, yet I don't have a thick skin. Dealing with confrontational customers is probably one of my weakest abilities in my job, but it is something I also can do. You don't have to have the thickest skin. And you know what, if you cry, that's fine as well. Other people have also cried. You won't be the first and you won't be the last. But you know, a thick skin is the goal for me anyway. This next one may just be a little bit personal to me. You know, maybe anybody else wasn't as silly as me, but you know, don't wear white socks with black boots because your socks will end up being black. Just saying. Gossip is real, gossip is everywhere. I remember I must have been in my job about 6 months, and then I ended up feeling like things were a bit different to how I thought they were. Like, I thought everybody was like a really nice, tight family and everybody cared about everyone. And then I started hearing little bits of gossip about different people and different people in the same company, and it just made me stand back a little bit and go, whoa, what's going on here? This isn't the sort of group I thought we were. But that's life. You know, people will talk. People have talked about me since then, mainly because of this. And it is something that happens in life. It's not the nicest thing, but it does happen. It's just something I'd prepare yourself for being aware of in a situation. Get used to the uniform because you can't change it. I was very, very scared of having to wear trousers all the time because I only ever wore a skirt. Even on the weekend and things, I'd wear a skirt. Well, I wouldn't. It's just when I was on my period, I'd wear a skirt. I hated wearing trousers when I was on my period, and now trousers are my uniform. There is no skirt option. So when I'm on my period, I do have to wear trousers. And you know what? I'm proud of myself for being able to like just deal with that and now feel fine wearing trousers. So, you know, it's all about personal growth, and sometimes things like uniform can push you out of your comfort zone and things end up being fine. But yeah, I wouldn't argue with a uniform. I'd just get on and deal with it. Even if other people don't wear the uniform correctly, I would wear the uniform correctly. Like I've said, it is okay to ask for help, and you know what else it is okay to ask for? Lifts. If people go your way and you would otherwise have to walk a long way, ask for a lift. And you know what? It will also give you a little bit of bonding time with somebody else. There are certain colleagues that have given me lifts home that I now feel like I can talk to a little bit more. And I ask people to pick me up in the morning or drop me home if they're going my way. But it took a good everything seems to be 6 months. It did take a good 6 months for people to realise that I needed a lift, because otherwise my dad used to pick me up at night, or there was one manager which always knew I needed a lift because he knew where I lived, because he knew me before I started working there. So he would always give me a lift home, and it took people a long time to sort of realise that I needed a lift because I never wanted to ask. I would just walk home, and I never realised that I could ask. But again, that is something I think you would learn as you get more comfortable with your colleagues. But like I said, just jump in, go straight into the deep end, ask for a lift. If they say yes, you've got a bit of bonding time, and you know, you don't have to walk home, which is great because we want you to stay safe. Bite your tongue. Everybody does it. And when I mean everybody does it, I mean every single colleague that you will have will have bitten their tongue at some point, and a lot of the time it is better. I am known for being sassy at work. I do struggle to bite my tongue quite a lot. I bite my tongue more with certain managers than other managers, and that's actually quite not okay because my mouth goes before my brain. It just starts speaking, and then obviously you can't take things back once you've said them. So yeah, I would bite your tongue and wait and let things pan out before you say something that you may regret, or before you reveal something that you may regret revealing. Obviously it depends on the situation, but yeah, it's something that I think you should be aware of doing. Like, yes, you should absolutely ask for help, but at the same time, if somebody starts screaming and shouting at you because they're having a bad day, how is it going to help the situation for you to scream and shout back how it's not your fault? It's not. Bite your tongue, take it on the chin, and then, yeah, maybe afterwards, once everything's calmed down, discuss it then, or don't discuss it at all. Come home, chill out, forget about it, move on, go back next day, fresh start. It depends on the situation, but 9 times out of 10, biting your tongue is better. Your appetite will change, so try to stay healthy. Absolutely no workplace is perfect. Obviously, I've only ever worked in 2 workplaces, but I do believe that no workplace is perfect. Like, when I've looked at online reviews of different jobs, there always seems to be a positive and a negative. There's always pros and cons. So one of the benefits at my workplace, which I actually can't imagine not having at another workplace, even though it is quite rare, is paid breaks. Like, I have to have my break. So how can an employer tell me they're not going to pay me for it? I just can't understand that. Like, if I ever left this job and I got a job somewhere else and they didn't give me a paid break, I just wouldn't understand it. Like, how can they say you're having a half an hour break? And I'm like, well, why am I having a half an hour break if you're not paying me for it? Like, I'm going to work through them. It just doesn't make sense to me. Count your blessings. Don't spend all your money in the workplace. It is so easy to do. It doesn't matter where you work. Just because you're there all the time, you'll crave the things that you see. If you work with clothes, you'll see clothes that you want all the time that you don't necessarily need. If you work with food, you'll want the food. I just say, you know, 2-week rule. If you want it for more than 2 weeks, then yeah, get it, but just be aware of how much you're spending, as it can often run away with you. You may still make mistakes 1 year later, and that's absolutely fine. You may think, yeah, I did that once and I absolutely smashed it, I got it bang on perfect, and then the next time you do it, you may get something wrong, and you think, well, why did I make a mistake when I did it right last time? Because things change, we forget things, the way you do things at work changes, and you might have not done it like that before, you know? It's just normal. It's normal. So don't beat yourself up about it. This next point I sort of think is important, but at the same time, I think you just need to keep it in the back of your mind. You are replaceable, so family should always come first. And that as a statement is completely and utterly true. You are replaceable. However, you want to be as good as possible at your job so that they don't want to have to replace you. So some colleagues that never put in extra shifts and never stay late, never come in early, they don't get on as well with the team as other people who do put in those extra shifts do. However, at the same time, I do fully agree with the statement that if your family comes first, your family comes first. And it is a job at the end of the day. So I think that is very much a balance. Things to look for in your job though, like I say, paid breaks, paid holidays, the benefits and discounts you get. So at my job, we don't get a discount. However, we get sort of like discounts on gym memberships and train discounts and different things like that. I don't really understand how it works. I've never actually used it. But those are all different things and different aspects you look for in different jobs. So take on board what you like from this job, and if you do end up looking for another, sort of know what you want to look for. Find out what uniform is supplied, as it actually was quite a shock to me that I had to buy my own trousers and shoes and things, because I thought most places would supply, you know, top and bottom. Maybe not shoes, but top and bottom at least. Whereas I did have to buy my own trousers, and I do still have to buy my own trousers. You know, it's not a deal breaker at the end of the day. If you want the job, you want the job. Uniform isn't a deal breaker, but it is something that you would need to think about. Sports bras are also a great shout. They are all I really wear now. I am wearing a normal bra at the minute, but this is very, very rare that I wear a normal bra. It is because I'll wear a sports bra to work because I'm so active, and I'll just come home and chill in a sports bra as well. And if you're going to work in a supermarket, little tips that I would share with you as a cashier is check that a card has been taken out of the card machine before the customer leaves. It is just now my regular routine that even if someone pays with cash, I just check the card reader as they're walking away, just to check that the card is definitely gone, even if they paid me cash. Because the number of times people left their card when I first started my job is unreal. I can't actually remember the last time somebody left their card, touch wood, but when I first started, it was literally like 2-3 times a day somebody left their card at my till. So yeah, check a card is being taken out, ask people to lay bottles flat because you don't want them smashing on the floor, and also circle R for returns on a receipt so nobody can use the same receipt again. They're just the little things as a cashier, but if that's not the job you're going into, I have no other tips for you. You know, I could talk all day actually about working in a supermarket and what are different things I would do, but if you would like to hear more on that, go and follow my TikTok because I talk a lot more about that on my TikTok. I think that is pretty much it though, so thank you very much for watching it. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you the very, very best of luck with starting a new job. Bye!